Hello and welcome everyone. This is Type V3 with a Gunpla review of the 1 to 144th scale high-grade Wing Gundam Zero Honoo, a custom mobile suit which appeared only in the Hobby Japan magazine light photo novel Gundam Build Fighters Honoo. Breaking it down, this kit is comprised of a total of 11 items. There's 9 main runners which include beam saber parts and a single clear green lens, along with a medium set of polycaps and a fairly small foil sticker sheet. If it wasn't already apparent, the Honoo is indeed based upon the recently released HGAC Wing Zero. However, this is largely in concept only, as most of the outer frame pieces are entirely new. Only skeletal areas like the main joints and backpack are direct carryovers from the preceding kit. As for the build process, it's one of the best HGs to date. It's quick and efficient, and manages to accomplish a lot for its sheer simplicity. Even gate placement is good, rendering awful nub marks to a small issue. All in all, the HG Wing Zero Honoo should appease Gunpla modelers at all skill levels. Even from a basic snap assembly, the kit easily strikes the eye with great visual appeal. With its curvy lines, sharp tips, and clear parts, this is without doubt one of the greatest renditions on the classic Wing Zero. The general silhouette is clean and the proportions seem to match all the original line art. Part separation is fantastic as there's really no obvious extra details you'll need to add. At most, you're looking at filling in some tiny vents and gaps with black paint. Sticker implementation is great too, it's just the metallic green accents found in the upper body. As for seamline coverage, the lower legs will be the main focus, specifically the calves and rear ankle guards. If I had one critique on the visuals, I'd say the kit could use some panel lining as the solid, bright-colored plastic seems to drown out the surface sculpting. Otherwise, overall presentation is exceptional, and should serve as a great foundation for custom paint schemes. Being a wing-based Gundam, the Honoo stands at a modest height just over the 4.5-inch mark. I would have loved to have seen this kit upscaled, but Wing was a 90s series, and apparently small Gundams were the trend back then. Articulation starts with a double ball-jointed neck, as you would find on most HGs. It does the side-to-side, up and down. Tilting is pretty decent. Torso has 2 ball joints, one in the waist and one in the mid-torso. They can both be used to go side-to-side. Tilting is not really usable, and there is a slight torso crunch going forwards and backwards. These shoulders are connected on a swing-out polycap. They're also on a ball joint, so you can get a full rotation out of them, although these huge shoulder pads tend to collide with these wings in the back here. There is an independent joint for the shoulder pad. This piece can swivel on its own. You do have a bicep swivel. Double joint at the elbow, but because of how fat this area is right here, you can't really utilize all that joint. There is a ball joint at the wrist as well. Each of the waist skirts can be moved independently forwards and backwards. The side ones can only be extended that far, and it can sort of swivel back and forth. The hips are universal jointed, they can go forwards. Outward range kind of sucks. They are connected together, so you can move them to slightly adjust for one another. There is a thigh swivel. You do have a double jointed knee, however, because of this huge vent back here, you can't actually utilize that great of a bend. The knee can also be bent or hyperextended because of a transformation feature we'll touch upon later. Ankle guards can move upwards on their own. The ankles themselves are on ball joints. They can move downwards, upwards, tilt, and of course there is a working toe joint. Both of the wings are connected on hinges that let them go side to side. Then of course there's a ball joint connection right in there, and you can get a little bit of tilting action going on, a little bit of up and down motion, but they are kind of limited. What you have to do is open these up, and this will unlock the upper hinge that lets it go up and down, and then that also reveals a secondary hinge joint to allow for even more mobility. Just note that if you do open up the wings and utilize all these joints, the whole kit tends to become very back heavy. On paper, the Wing Zero Honoo has all the requirements for excellent articulation. However, it never manages to make use of it. Basically, all the parts love to collide with one another when posing. The back-heavy wings don't help either. When it comes to accessories, the inclusions are very similar to that of the HGAC Wing Zero. First off, there's no extra hands, which is fine. Weapons start with the twin Buster Rifle. Clear orange parts and yellow stickers help spruce up the dull gray plastic. Obviously, it can separate or combine and be displayed as you see fit. Next is the Honoo's custom shield, and I love its design. It's just a nice take on the classic Wing Zero defensive accessory. Unfortunately, it's not the most usable item. The arm connector is placed too low and too close to the shield, and more often than not, the top of it tends to get caught on either the shoulder armor or the back wings. It's very limiting. Thankfully, the shield isn't an entire loss, as just under the orange lens you'll find a single beam saber. It does what beam sabers usually do, and in the event you lose the green effect part, Bandai have included a second one for that scenario. The Honoo's party piece comes from the glaring sword hilts on its wings. You can detach these and give the mobile suit a pair of flame swords. They offer no special features still, these are rad and are my preferred weapon to display the kit with. Finally, the Wing Gundam Zero Honoo has a flight mode. Transformation is easy. Flip around the head and waist, fold down the shoulder pads, activate the reverse knee joints, bend the feet downwards, open up the wings, and attach both the buster rifles and the shield in their appropriate spots. The result is, well, it's decent. The wings definitely help sell the look, although viewed from any other angle than top down, and the illusion is broken. This is essentially, like almost all transformable Gundams, a robot lying on its face. Broadly speaking, I'm not the biggest fan of the classic Wing Gundam or any of its related variants, yet every time Build Fighters introduces a custom version of the MS, I tend to take a huge liking to it, and it's no different with this kit either. In fact, the Wing Gundam Zero Honoo is certainly my favorite take on the mobile suit thus far. I just think it's beautifully designed, and the build exploits this aspect effortlessly. No matter how far you take this model kit, the end result will always be something striking to look at. It's solidly put together, and the accessories are good too, offering a wide variety of action displays, though really the twin flame swords are the sole weapons that matter. Also, there's a flight mode if that's your sort of thing. The one evident issue with this kit is the articulation. It's not bad by any means, it's good, just not at the upper level of what modern HG kits have demonstrated. If simple posing and display setups are what you're after, then this will be fine. For a more playable kit, I'd seek out one of the HG Wing Fenices instead. Ultimately, the 1:144th scale, high-grade Wing Gundam Zero Honoo is a fine model kit. And honestly, it makes perfect sense as this kit's qualities were already apparent to begin with. After all, it's based on one of the strongest HG releases, the Wing Zero, and then takes it one step further with its unique visual flair. I can recommend it to all Gunpla enthusiasts. The only reason to avoid it is if you just aren't into the fiery theme. But that's all for me. Thanks for watching, and while the flames of the Honoo continue to burn brightly, let's hope for a similar reaction from the burst of blue wings.